Good morning, Ambassador. We are here today with Ambassador Paul Teesalu, the Estonian ambassador in Italy, and we are very happy to start our set of interview with the ambassadors of the member states which joined the European Union 20 years ago. Thank you to have accepted our invitation, Ambassador.
Thank you for coming here. Thank you, and welcome to the Embassy of Estonia.
Thank you. So my first question would be a sort of question, a personal question. Okay, where were you 20 years ago, more or less, at the time of your country accession to European Union? And what do you remember about those days on a personal level?
On a personal level, 1st of May 2004, I was in Vienna. I was finishing my first posting as a young diplomat. So it was a Saturday. We joined the European Union, and we were together with friends, and we raised the EU flag in the garden.
In the garden of the Estonian embassy in...
Not even that. We were at the friend's place.
Okay.
And we raised the flag there together with family. So we didn't go out. We had very small kids. Our son was 2 years old and daughter was just 4. So we were celebrating this sunny Saturday in Vienna.
So this is an happy souvenir about that period.
Yes, I do have some photographs of that as well. Funny to see us being so young a long time ago.
Thank you. And if we go back to that time, what were the main discussion and topics addressed in your country? Okay, you were in Austria before joining the European Union. What were, in your opinion, the reason that led your country to decide to join the EU? There was some specific reason or just EU love?
Well, that was the time of the 90s when we regained our independence in 1991, and from the beginning there was for us a goal to join the European Union, or we always said that the Europe will return to Estonia. We are not going to the Europe, but Europe returns to Estonia in a proper manner. So in 1995 there was official request by the Estonian government to join the EU, and in 1998 the whole negotiation process started, which culminated then by us joining the EU on the 1st of May 2004. So it was a lengthy process, quite turbulent times. It was the 90s when it all started, and well, the discussion in the Estonian society was basically we had kind of binary option, whether to become member of the European Union or to stay where we stood, kind of in a kind of gray zone, so to say. And for us, it was ultimate goal to anchor Estonia into the European and Euro-Atlantic structure, so that we can live together with the other European countries. So from that point of view, it was not just Europhilia. We liked everything European flag and anthem, but it was partly also a question of fundamental orientation of a country and the nation as a whole, and also a kind of security question. It is maybe not so well felt here in Italy, for instance. EU can also have the security dimension.
Yeah.
But back then, in the 90s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, when we regained our independence, in particular, the Russian troops left in 1994, only, a year before we applied for the EU membership. It was also for us
this is, I think, quite clear in these days that the security issue was an important issue. Today, 20 years later, do you believe that the discussions and the topics addressed at the political public opinion level will be the same as back then? Or do you think that nowadays Estonian people, Estonian government look at European Union in a different way?
We did have referendum before we joined. It was in 2003, and there was a public could give their voice, and there were 66.5 votes in favor of joining the EU, and 33% of those voting against joining the European Union. So it was maybe one of the lowest pro-EU vote in all these referenda that place in the year preceding the enlargement. Today, according to the polls, the support for the EU is 84%.
84.
Quite high. And it seems that the opinion about the European Union has improved, during these 20 years. And that's quite objective measure of the success of Estonian European success of people says about the issue. When we joined the EU, I mean, there were a few kind of also hesitations and doubts about are we able to overtake all the EU norms and standards? Is there maybe too much bureaucracy for a small country like Estonia? Can we cope with all this workload of working through the different EU directives? There were these doubts on the background of the referendum. Today, I can say we are part of formulating all the EU norms. We are around the table in Brussels.
Yeah.
So, whatever is being produced in Brussels, also we are co-authors of it. So, this is not a concern anymore, as it probably was 20 years ago. We had EU presidency in 2017. Next presidency will be 2030 or 31. So, not so distant future. So we are quite used to working within the European Union.
Okay, so I see that you are very positive about the participation of Estonia to European process integration. But of course, I think that some problem you tackle with the access in European Union. Could you identify what is the main worry of Estonian people with respect to European Union be part of, and even if it's not a big problem?
Well, we are fully integrated in the internal market. Of course, we are part of Eurozone, and we are really dependent on how the internal market develops. If the European economic growth will stall, it will hit us always quite hard. So about 3/4 of our trade goes with the European Union member states. So we are really keenly interested in developing further equal playing field for everyone. So that's one issue that is important. Efficiency. The other, and competitiveness also on the global scale. Because one thing is what we do within the European Union, the other, how it actually, what kind of effect it's having in relation to the global competitiveness in Union. Then, growingly, during the last 2 years, especially, the side of the kind of security, European Union as was a softer, but it's not getting more harder kind of security provider. Because we feel the ongoing Russian aggression very closely. And we also view that EU has played an important role in So we would like to see the EU role in this sense being strengthened. But it is also a challenge for the EU. Even when we speak about certain new fields of common effort, like strengthening the European Union capacity in terms of defense, in terms of defense industry, in terms of basically levels of production that the EU countries are able to deliver, and prospective further integration in this field. This is also being discussed in Estonia. Can we see the EU as a global actor, not just regionally speaking vis-à-vis the Russian war against Ukraine, but also generally against the other global players?
So can we say that Estonia is in favor of an enlargement of the European Union competencies also to defense sector and security sector?
Slowly we are moving towards this, and we feel that there is a gap that needs to be filled. Again, another important issue for us is enlargement. Enlargement policy that was stalled for many years has now gained new momentum, and we would like to see the EU enlargement.
What is the Estonian position, if you are aware, with respect to the Western Balkans enlargement?
We support Western Balkans a lot. We have always been very supportive to that. We would like to see all candidate countries move on.
And what do you think about the main objection to further enlargements that say that European Union governments would become a mess, not be manageable? Do you think that we need also a modification of the treaties to simplify the governance at European Union, Council, European Council, Commission, European Parliament? What is the Estonian position on this, or what do you are your opinion on this?
Before every last enlargement, there has been always this worry that when is it governable when we have so many new members, and it has always been basically possible to take a balance. We feel that we do not need amendment of the EU treaty in order to make the next enlargement round possible, but we actually can find ways within the existing frameworks, even after the next round.
Thank you. You are the ambassador of Estonia here in Italy. Let's have a closer look to the relationship between Italy and Estonia, of course, in the context of the European process of integration. What do you think are the reciprocal relationship with respect between Italy and Estonia during the European Council, during the Council, in the European institution? What do you feel is the relationship between the two member states?
When we look back in these 20 years when we have been like aside from the European institutions sitting around the same table, in the beginning, let's say both Estonia but also Italy, I think we all saw things in a very regional manner. We were more worried about the eastern neighborhood, and Italy more worried about other neighborhood of Europe. But during last 10 years or so, what we have seen is that actually our views are more concurring, and we are sharing more and more each other's concerns. We have managed to build bigger consensus within the European Union where the attention should be, and basically the consensus is around kind of 30, let's say 360 degrees approach. We have to take care of each other. What we see as in regard to Italy really takes care of the concerns of us. And in the northeast, more material ways, as well as Estonia and other countries in the northeast, Central Europe, attentive to the Italian concerns. As regards to the Russian war against Ukraine, or as regards to the migration issue from the south, we created a fruitful dialogue. Thanks to the fact that we are here in the same institution.
Let's consider now one of the main worries, main concern of Italy with respect to the European process of integration. Let's say the migration policy. You know that there is this new pact on migration that provides for a relocation of migrants. What is the position of Estonia about this? Are you ready to have some some immigrants relocated in Estonia, or would you prefer to pay money for, let's have other member country be the host country?
We were part of the relocation scheme 2015, if I remember the year correct, when there was an agreement within the European Union to relocate those who came in this big migration wave. And we fulfilled our obligations on that. So we are rather think that the EU is moving in the right direction, especially when we speak about need to work with the countries of origin and transit to safeguard the European Union external borders, and we are actively contributing to that. Also from our own limited means, our Estonian border guard units are here also in Italy with tangible means, with the reconnaissance aircraft, for instance, or with the patrol boats on the coast of Italy in order to intercept and effort. So we have been very open in these discussions.
Okay. Let's have a few questions more. How are these 20 years of participation in the EU celebration in your country? Can you give us some examples of how Estonian people nowadays celebrated?
Well, there will be a big celebration on the 9th of May. First of all, there will be big concerts, not just in the capital city Tallinn, but there will be events also in other places all over Estonia. Bigger events in bigger cities like Tartu and Narva. Roundtables, certain exhibitions in Tallinn also involving the embassies that are in Tallinn, the European embassies that are in the capital. So I would say that the day will be full of different places. And this 20 years is a jubilee event, around anniversary of this historic event, and also people who were part of the early process of Estonian EU European stage to express their opinions, memories from these days.
Okay, we open our discussion, our interview with a personal touch. So let's close the interview with another personal touch. You remember before where you were 20 years ago, and where you will be for celebrating these 20 years with your family, with your friends. You are planning some special celebration for these 20 years, or this will pass just as another anniversary?
Well, we will be here in Rome, and on the Europe Day there will be a big celebration in Campidoglio.
Oh yes.
On the 1st of May we had close to Colosseum, we had this coloring of Colosseum.
Yes, with a blue flag.
With blue flag, and also all the flags of the 10 member states. So we already celebrated the enlargement, and now we are going to celebrate the Europe Day and telling you about we celebrate Europe's Day and different events.
Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ambassador. It was a pleasure to meet you. I hope that there will be other occasion for having your opinion on EU issues. And I can anticipate to you that we as the University of Roma Tre would like to organize a sort of celebration after the summer with all the 10 countries that joined the European Union 20 years ago. I hope that you can be present to this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.